Imagine this. You're standing 12 yards from the goal. There's no defender in front of you. No wall. No teammate blocking your shot. Just you, the goalkeeper, in the biggest moment of the game. But why 12 yards? Why not 10? Why not 15? Who decided that 12 yards was the perfect distance for a penalty kick? And the crazy part is, the answer goes back to a football problem that nearly caused chaos. To understand the penalty spot, we have to go back to the early days of football. In the 1800s, football had rules, but they weren't nearly as standardized as they are today. Different clubs played with different ideas. And one of the biggest problems was this. What happens when a player illegally stops an almost certain goal? At first, there wasn't a simple penalty kick like we know today. Instead, referees had to find other ways to deal with serious fouls. Eventually, football needed a punishment that gave the attacking team a genuine chance to score. And that led to the creation of the penalty kick. The penalty kick was officially introduced into the laws of the game in 1891. But here's something interesting. The original idea wasn't exactly the same as today's penalty. The penalty kick was taken from a much larger area, and the goalkeeper had more freedom. Over time, football authorities realized they needed something much more precise. The location had to be far enough away to give the goalkeeper a chance, but close enough to make the penalty a serious punishment. And that's where the famous 12-yard distance comes in. But here's the important part. 12 yards wasn't chosen because scientists calculated that it was the mathematically perfect distance. It was more about creating a practical balance. Think about what happens at different distances. From 5 yards, the goalkeeper has almost no realistic chance. From 25 yards, the penalty becomes much more like a normal shot, and that's not what a penalty is supposed to be. So football needed a distance where the shooter has a major advantage, but the goalkeeper still has a chance to make an incredible save. And 12 yards became that standard. That's about 36 feet, or roughly 11 meters. Now let's talk about why penalties feel so difficult for goalkeepers. A penalty taker is only about 12 yards away, and the ball can reach the goal extremely quickly. That means the goalkeeper has very little time to react after the shot is struck. So goalkeepers usually have to anticipate where the ball is going. They aren't simply waiting to see the ball and then reacting. They're reading the shooter's body position, approach, and sometimes even their previous habits. That's why penalty saves can feel almost impossible. The goalkeeper isn't just fighting the ball. They're fighting probability. And here's another fascinating detail. The penalty spot isn't randomly placed in the middle of the field. It's positioned 12 yards from the goal line and directly in front of the center of the goal. That creates a perfectly standardized situation. Every penalty taker gets the same basic distance. Every goalkeeper gets the same basic goal. And every referee knows exactly where the kick should be taken. That consistency is incredibly important. Because imagine if the penalty distance changed depending on the stadium, referee, or competition. Football would become a completely different game. So, why exactly 12 yards? The short answer is, it came from the historical development of the penalty kick and became the standardized distance used in modern football. It wasn't some secret mathematical formula. It was a practical solution that created one of the most dramatic situations in sports. One player, one goalkeeper, one shot, and just 12 yards between them. So the next time you watch a penalty, don't just look at the shooter. Look at those 12 yards. Because that tiny distance is one of the biggest reasons a penalty kick can decide an entire football match. And that's the story behind the 12-yard penalty spot.